So maybe you want to fix your face. Reduce the appearance of your jowls. Eliminate a double chin. Have a snatched jawline, or just look and appear younger, more youthful. Did you know you can literally change your appearance simply by where you place your tongue? And you've been hearing about this thing called mewing. Well, today, that's what we're talking about here on The Chalene Show. So what is mewing? Mewing is a term that has become very popular on social media, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. A lot of people are talking about mewing. The term came on my radar after I did a video talking about how I believed I changed my jawline through breathing exclusively or almost exclusively through my nose, learning not to breathe through my mouth. I also talked about some other techniques that I'll share later in this video. And I'll also link to the previous video where I described kind of like everything that I did. Under that video, I got comment after comment after comment, people saying, what you're doing is mewing. Your jawline changed because of mewing. Now listen, I don't know if it was a combination of things that I did, and that's why I will tell you at the end of this video the other techniques that I did, including mewing. But I do know this. Once I saw that term and I went on a deep dive, as perhaps you have, I learned so much more about our facial structure and how we position our tongue, how we hold our mouth, and the things that we're doing with our jaw and how they change our appearance. Did you know you can literally change your appearance simply by where you place your tongue? It's true, and while some scientists and skeptics don't believe it to be so, you can't deny the anecdotal proof. And what's the harm in trying? It's free. So what is mewing? Mewing is a technique developed by Dr. John Mewing, who's a British orthodontist. And as far as we know, many people credit him with developing this term. But I have to say, I remember my grandma telling me to do this with my tongue, like when I was 12 years old. Did she get that from Dr. Mewing, or did she just know that it would change the appearance of your jawline? I don't know. But Dr. Mewing is often the person who, that's where the term mewing came from. What is mewing? Mewing is about the habit of keeping your mouth closed, breathing through your nose, placing your tongue on the roof of your mouth, creating contact, not just with like the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth, but the back of your tongue, your full tongue on the palate of your mouth, and then creating suction by kind of like, what I'm doing is pulling my tongue up onto the roof of my mouth, and not just the tip of my tongue, but like my whole tongue in a way that's comfortable for me. And then I'm like drawing all the saliva out of my cheeks, and it pulls everything kind of up.
The idea is you gain a good suction hold. You have your tongue well suctioned on the roof of your mouth so that your tongue is fully engaged, flat on the roof of the mouth. You evacuate, you suck out the saliva, and then push with your tongue as hard as you can on the roof of the mouth. Your teeth should be in butterfly bite, so your normal, comfortable bite, but very, very lightly touching. You don't want to bite so hard as your teeth really touch. Once in a while, you're going to have to swallow, so your tongue comes off, your teeth will come together. You'll do a sweep to get more saliva out of your mouth. But in effect, you're using the maximum force you can in your tongue. You're going to hold this for, I would say, a couple of minutes, and then you're going to halve the forces. So you halve the amount your tongue's pushing up, then in another few minutes, you halve it again, and halve it again, and again, and again. So eventually you're left with this very, very, very light action with the tongue and the jaw closing muscles working in this nice harmony, this balance, able to keep your teeth in a light butterfly bite. So not clenching, occasionally coming together, but very, very lightly.
I can't make a definitive statement that we know this changes the face of adults, but there does seem to be some scientific proof that it can change the face of children. And so therefore, knowing what we know about the bony structure of our own heads and the way our skull is sutured together, which sounds crazy, but the way that our skull is sutured together allows for change in movement. Like, we all know this to be true. Think about someone whose teeth were perfect, and then as an adult, they stop wearing their retainer, and then their teeth shift. I'm not going to name a certain pop star who is now getting a divorce, but you've seen this happen with people that you know, and maybe it's happened to you. You stop wearing your retainer and your teeth shift. Your jaw can shift. The human skull, the human face has the potential to change shape based on how you're using your muscles, where you're placing your tongue, how you sleep, and of course by eliminating water and inflammation in the face using a technique known as lymphatic massage, which we'll talk about later. So what are the benefits of placing your tongue on the roof of your mouth? It's believed that it improves sleep quality because people who snore, people who have sleep apnea, have a habit of allowing, they don't even realize this, it's subconscious, but subconsciously, they allow their tongue to drop down into the bottom of their mouth. So for a moment, just put your tongue in the bottom of your mouth, like underneath the little ridge, that little bony ridge at the back of your bottom teeth. And then just let your tongue kind of fall backwards, almost like you're relaxing it and pulling it backwards. What happens is the jawline, that's not very attractive, but that's what happens. And over time, you begin to feel and see people's faces shift down and longer, and almost where they lose their jawline, they lose their chin, and it looks like you have a double chin or a very weak jawline. Having a strong jawline, whether we like it or not, is one of the things we associate with attractiveness. And where you place your tongue has a dramatic impact on the shape of your face and the definition of your jawline. Listen, even if we were just looking at a temporary benefit, you can't deny the fact that if you just pull your tongue, just do it. Take a picture. Have somebody else take a picture of you from the side with your mouth just relaxed or your tongue in the bottom part of your mouth. And then pull your tongue all the way up into the top roof of your mouth. And I don't mean the tip of your tongue. I mean your whole tongue. Pull it there and then suck all the saliva out, creating a seal. Then lightly close your mouth. Your teeth should just be barely touching, and you'll see an instant difference. The question remains, if we get in the habit of mewing 24/7, it's just the way that we live. It's just the way that we breathe. It's just naturally where we put our tongue. The question remains, can this permanently change the structure of your face? I don't know the answer. I can just say for myself, anecdotally, I do think it has had a profound effect on my jawline. I think it has had a profound effect on the way that my face is shaped. But I also know there's a few other things I've been doing, so I can't just isolate that. But that's a huge one for me. Unknowingly, I was practicing mewing because I had heard that by keeping your mouth closed while you sleep at night, it would improve your dental care. So I did a whole video. I'm not going to go over all that again. I'll talk about how bad my teeth were and all the weird issues I was having that I had a dentist tell me, I think it's because you're mouth breathing. And so I went into the practice of keeping my mouth closed at night and mouth taping. And it was through mouth taping that I started realizing it was more comfortable to do this if I could create a seal. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just sucking all the saliva out of my cheeks. And it kind of sealed my mouth closed. Okay, I'm going to take a pause real quick because I'm going to run and get the tape that I used. Stand by. Okay, I didn't find the tape, but I will find it and I'll put it at the end of the video, the tape that I use on my mouth. But there's a whole bunch of different types of tapes you can use. Anyways, I just thought I should show you this dress because I got it on Amazon. It's super cheap. I think under $20. But look how cute this dress is. Look at maybe it's like a little strapless. Isn't it cute? It's under $20. All right, the shoes are my favorite Amazon shoes. I talk about them all the time. Yeah. Listen, I've got an expensive necklace on. Everything else is cheap, including me. No, I'm not cheap. I may dress cheap. I may mix it up. All right, back to mewing. The experts agree that mewing, in other words, this specific way of placing your tongue in the roof of your mouth, creating that seal, lightly bringing your teeth together, keeping the mouth closed without pursing your lips or pulling them in or doing anything weird like that. But that particular position improves dental care, facial appearance, reduces sleep apnea, improves speech and swallowing, better breathing, and overall improving your health. And as an extra added bonus, you get a nice tight jawline. What would be the harm in just trying, right? I don't know why people are so up in arms. Because there are a lot of dentists out there too who just do not believe in this technique, which is fine. I'm not the expert. I'm certainly not an orthodontist or a dentist. I think it's something that to me seems relatively harmless. Obviously, you are on a journey to figure out if this will work for you. I want to just share with you how I learned how to do it accidentally. And then I watched all the videos and I'm like, wait, am I doing this right or am I doing this wrong? So as per usual, I think you have to take a modified approach with this. We get so freaked out about like, am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? The number one most important tip that I can give to you is to just create a habit of breathing differently. Before you focus on where your tongue goes and all those crazy things, like just begin to focus on breathing through your nose. That alone just makes it more natural. That alone is going to give you many benefits. So even if you aren't mewing perfectly, which is not an exercise, it's just a way of breathing, you're still going to see dramatic improvements. After you've mastered breathing through your nose, then you can start to think about where you're placing your tongue. So here's what I recommend you do. Take the back of your tongue, not the tip of your tongue. Like just forget you even have the tip of your tongue. Take the back of your tongue and I want you to press it into the back of your palate. And now just let the rest of your tongue kind of like peel its way, press its way forward. But don't think about like pushing hard on your teeth or doing anything that feels unnatural. Just try to imagine that you're creating contact, smooth and even contact over the roof of your mouth. Once you're in that position, now simply remove all the saliva from your mouth, kind of creating a seal, like a suction. You notice automatically your jawline starts to chisel. You look just immediately, if nothing else, do this the next time you take a photo, and I guarantee you'll like the picture better than just a relaxed face. Okay. Once you have that position and you've sucked the saliva out of your cheeks, the thing that tripped me up every time I watched a video talking about this, I'm like, so is it supposed to stay like that? Because your mouth is continually producing saliva. So the answer is no, you are kind of regularly in intervals that feel natural to you, like don't overthink this, just drawing all the saliva and maintaining that suction, maintaining that seal. And you break the seal every time you open your mouth. So it is a great reminder to keep your mouth closed in order to maintain that connection. According to experts, the human jaw has changed, especially around the 18th century. It was around the 18th century where humans started eating different kinds of foods. And even today, you can look at certain societies, certain cultures where they are eating a diet it's harder to chew. It's like real meat. Things that aren't soft and white and doughy like bread. Like everything in the American diet is soft and doughy and it's easy on the palate. I remember even when my kids were little, they had Go-Gurt and they had applesauce. They had so many things that were soft. They weren't eating steak. They weren't eating things that were hard to chew. As our diet and lifestyle continued to change, the masseter muscle became less and less pronounced. The necessity for orthodontics, braces, and surgical procedures to tighten people's jawlines, to actually give them a jawline, became more and more prevalent. Again, there's lots of critics who believe there's just not enough research to prove conclusively that mewing can change the facial structure, especially of an adult. But if you look at the preponderance of people who've taken before and after photos and have tracked their own facial changes, it's kind of hard to deny. And it's, in my estimation, it's like, well, if it's free and it's not bad for you, why wouldn't you try to breathe more often through your nose? Why wouldn't you try to place your tongue in a position known as mewing? I just don't see the harm in it. And when I look at my own photos, it's kind of undeniable. The last time I did a video, it was funny. I did the before and after photo, and so many people commented underneath like, oh yeah, lighting. Oh yeah, filters much? And so that's why I'm going to show you now 2 videos side by side of me talking. One will probably be like a year and a half or 2 years ago before I started doing this, and then today, so that you can see the difference. Okay, and then here's the other question I got hammered with, like, what about Botox and fillers and facial plastic surgeries and all those things? Okay, so I've had a little bit of lip filler, but not between those 2 videos that I just showed you. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is I haven't had any fillers in my face in over 2 years. So no, I don't have any fillers in my face currently. I do get Botox, but we're not talking about my forehead. We're talking about my jawline, right? Now, plastic surgery, sign me up, let's go. When this starts to sag and mewing just won't do its thing, for sure I'm gonna get this tightened up. Heck yeah, why not? Like everyone's doing it. But even still, even with myself doing the mewing, even with seeing the improvements in my own jawline, I still catch pictures of myself from the side and go like, ah, what's going on? Like, what is that double chin? So a lot of it is like just being aware of how I'm holding my face. One thing that I think the ladies might be interested in, this is another thing that I've done, is I've trained my lips to be fuller. Now, I know I told you that I have a little bit of lip filler. It's it's from, let's see, about a year and a half ago. So teeny little bit. I do some on one side, just a little bit on one side to even them out, because I have one side that is skinnier than the other. It's very natural. But what I've learned to do that I think makes a really big difference is how I hold my lips. And I notice especially when I'm around my parents, and I notice this especially when I look at older photos of myself and how I used to hold my mouth. I've literally trained myself to have more of an upper lip, and I still don't have much of an upper lip, but look at the difference. This is like how I used to smile. And then I just learned to kind of like train the muscle to flip my lip. And I don't smile like this, but I will if I'm just making a closed. Is this crazy that I'm even telling you this? I know the guys are like, this is so dumb. We don't even care. Listen, the ladies want to hear this stuff. They really do. A lot of them do. Not all, but a lot of them do. Okay. So when I'm smiling with a closed smile, right? Like instead of doing this, which is what I used to do, now I just kind of let my lip muscle kind of curl the lip up. And they look fuller, and I didn't have to get immediately. Look, and this may seem like it has nothing to do with mewing, but it kind of does. My point is this: the way you use your mouth, the way you use the muscles in your jaw, affects your facial appearance. Look at the facial appearance of people who are smokers. Look at the lines that form. Look at the lines that form around people who scowl and just the way that you sleep. And you'll notice that your face is smushed on one side. If you're a side sleeper, you can always tell a side sleeper based on the wrinkles they have on that side of their face, more pronounced jowls, and just a droopiness on the side that you're sleeping on your face. How we use our muscles changes the shape of everything. Doesn't that just make sense? If I'm never squatting, I'm not going to have shape in my legs. If I'm squatting and hitting the gym not 24/7, if I'm squatting and exercising and building muscle on a regular basis, I'm going to change the shape of my body. Muscles change our shape. And if you would like to change your shape, the shape of your body, you should check out this video. It's Chalene's Weekly Workouts. And here I go through my complete strength training workout, just in case you're curious. But today we're talking about the muscles of your jaw, and we're talking about how to use them in such a way to improve and snatch your jawline. Now, as promised, I want to share with you the additional things that I've been doing that I think may have contributed to the change in my appearance. And I don't know if one of these had a bigger impact than the other, but I just feel like it's more transparent to tell you I wasn't just mewing. In fact, I didn't even know I was mewing. First thing I did was started mouth taping at night. So I used this brand of tape, and there's lots of companies now that make mouth tape. You won't feel overwhelmed. You won't feel like you're suffocating. You'll feel like you're in control, but they do help you. They help train you to keep your mouth closed. By mouth taping at night, I found it easier for myself to sleep on my back. Now, if you have sleep apnea, that's not advised. But for me, I found it more natural and more comfortable and easier to sleep on my back when I was mouth taping. That allowed me to train myself, to teach myself to keep my mouth closed all night long. It took about 30 days. I've done a few videos just on mouth taping. You can check them out here. But the mouth taping, I think, had a dramatic impact. By the same token, I began sleeping on my back, which I think allows all of the fluids that we carry in our face, because faces have puffiness, it allowed them to flow much easier through my lymphatic system. Speaking of lymphatic system, I started watching a bunch of TikTok people doing lymphatic massage on their faces. So I have been for the last year practicing lymphatic facial massage, not using a gua sha. I usually just use my knuckles. You'll see that in the video. I'll show you the exact technique. I saw that TikTok trend about how you do lymphatic massage on your jawline to help remove inflammation, just make things look more chiseled. So I started trying it. I felt like that day I noticed a difference. I think it's even helped my cheekbones. Look. And here's one with my chin down, not the most flattering angle. I see it. But I do it on my nose too, to thin it out and get rid of inflammation there. Look. I didn't get a nose job yet. Like, let me show you what I do. Okay, so I just take my knuckles and I go here and then down. And I do 20 strokes. Okay, and then on my nose, I just go like this. And I don't even know if this is right. I have no idea. But it's working and it's free. Oh, I just lost a light. That's sad. Let me see. Should I plug that in? I feel like I should. Because that just changed our light. Stand by. I will show you my lighting setup, but unfortunately one of my lights went out. But ladies and gentlemen, the show must go on. She's a professional. She's a professional. So it has been a combination of all those things. Again, I don't know if one of them made the bigger difference, but by combining all of them, I see a difference. And I think you probably do too. If this is something you would like to try, what would be the harm? I would start, as I said, by practicing just breathing through your nose. I think that alone is an incredible place to start, because by developing that habit, it's going to become much easier for you to start mewing, as they say. But don't overthink it, man. I've just watched way too many videos where people have like a million different techniques for doing this, and you're going to get all freaked out and think you're doing it wrong. Just remember this. It's not an exercise. It's not something you do like for an hour a day. It's something you should try to get in the habit of doing all the time, as often as possible. It's not going to happen when you're eating. It obviously can't happen while you're speaking. But when you're sitting, breathing, exercising, walking, doing anything where you can maintain your mouth closed, practice mewing. Oh, see, there you go. I'm making that face. Like, this has become a habit. And maybe it looks goofy to you, but I like it. I like it better than my, like, otherwise, if I don't make that face, I feel like my face looks like someone just took a knife and slit my cheek and there's your lips. Like, it's just a genetic thing, right? Both my parents have like thin lips, and yeah, so say what you will. I like it. And it makes see, when I do that, it makes these muscles a little bit more pronounced. So maybe that's another thing that I've done, is like just kind of change the way that I hold my face. There's something to this stuff, I'm telling you. If you have watched this video to this point, I want to say thank you so much for being here. I would love to encourage you, to remind you to take a moment to subscribe. Check out all the other topics I've covered on this channel. I love anything health related, anything lifestyle related, anything that makes your life easier. Obviously, maybe you don't know this, I've got extreme ADHD, and I love helping the easily distracted figure out how to be more focused, more productive, and get the most out of life. And so I would love to have you as a subscriber. If today's the day you're like, I'm going to do it. Today I'm going to do it. Please let me know. Like, today is day one, Chalene, I subscribed. And, I'll send something special your way, like parking lot karma. Next time you drive into the grocery store, you're going to be like, look at this, a spot right up front. You know who this is from? Chalene. I just subscribed to her channel. It's like an extra added bonus. It's on its way. And ladies, this is not sponsored. I don't have a discount code. I don't get a penny from this, but I am your girlfriend. So I'm going to tell you about this tool that I bet a lot of your friends are talking about too. It is the Dyson Airwave. I bought it. I broke down and I bought it. Did I have to rob a bank to buy it? Yes, I did. Will you have to mortgage your house to buy one? Yes, you will. Do I think it's worth it? Yes, I do. Except, I'm crazy about it. So I'm going to show you this quick little video. Check this out. This is me going crazy after 3 days. What's funny is that I always say my hair is like cotton candy, and this is like a cotton candy making machine. Doesn't that remind you of a cotton candy making machine? Like, we're just making cotton candy over here. Okay, day 2 with my favorite toy. But you have to figure out like which way to hold it. So it curls that way, then watch. Then you have to go like this for it to wrap that way, okay? And then if you want it to go that way, then you go like this. And it's just air. It's warm air, but it's not bad for your hair. And then you just hold it, and then I figured out you go like this. Put some cold air burst on it, and then you just turn it off. What? Because I'm your girl, I'm going to tell you this. And because Dyson hasn't reached out to me with a discount code, I heard from a whole bunch of ladies who said, A, if you're going to buy it, get it at Costco. It's a lot cheaper. And B, the company Shark makes a version of this. I forget what theirs is called, like the Hair Flex or something. And I heard from so many people said, I own both, and they're almost identical. Almost identical, and the Shark is like half the price. So there you go. Listen, I'm your girl. I'm going to hook you up. Provided, of course, you've liked this video, you've left a comment, and you've triple checked to make sure you're subscribed. Not just subscribed, you got to turn on the bell notification or the videos don't show up. Listen, thank you so much for listening to this edition of The Chalene Show. I want to know, what are you going to start with? Are you going to start by mewing, like right off the bat? Or are you going to use one of these other techniques I talked about in the later part of the video? Or are you just going to start by seeing if you can breathe more regularly through your nose, maybe even doing some mouth taping at night? I love you. I mean it, and I'll talk to you soon.